Welcome to the TDM Sports Podcast, and today we are going to be focusing on the Kevin Durant situation with the Brooklyn Nets. There was a recent source that said he would rather retire than play for the Brooklyn Nets. There's also been multiple trade rumors, and the front runners to get Kevin Durant at the moment are the Boston Celtics, which would involve a Jaylen Brown center package with other assets. This trade could rock the Eastern Conference, but it could also give the Nets a good dynamic and young duo with Ben Simmons, Jaylen Brown, and I think Cam Thomas could be a big part of this team as well, pushing them to having a good season and making a postseason. But that's assuming this all goes with KD and Kyrie, and there are also been some Kyrie rumors as well. So if this trade goes down with the Boston Celtics, with Kevin Durant, what are your guys' opinions on the Eastern Conference and how the Nets could be as a team this season?
Yeah, well, I just don't think the Nets, even if they manage to get Jaylen Brown, I just don't think that they have the coaching or the camaraderie to work out with Kyrie Irving. I think he's a big problem. I think they have to trade him. Right? Everywhere he goes, there's complications. It's just do you really want that with a young core? I don't think so. So unless they can trade Kyrie Irving, I think they'll be a playoff team and nothing more.
Well, going back to the 2018-19 season, they were a young team, and they won 42 games, and that kind of, got Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving to want to sign in Brooklyn, and that eventually led to James Harden, and that obviously didn't work out. So now they can go in two directions. They can either run it back and have a good start to the season before injuries, and if they do end up getting injured, it could be another big problem. Or they can go a different direction and try to not necessarily rebuild, but change up their core to make it a little bit younger and build for the future and try to get some first-round picks back from that Harden trade that they lost. So, yep.
I think the Nets should go full-on tanking mode. I think that Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving doesn't work out. I think the Nets are a big market team, but they just can't get it done. I don't think their coaching's good enough. They don't have a good front office. Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, that's a duo that should have worked out. It didn't. Ben Simmons isn't going to help them. It's going to make the chemistry worse. I think that we got massive.
We got breaking news.
Breaking news. Kevin Durant has announced that he will stay in Brooklyn, but the Nets have fired Steve Nash and traded Ben Simmons for DeAndre Ayton.
Wow.
That is a great
Okay.
move for the Nets.
So that changes the Nets' chances. Now the question is, well, first of all, we're going to talk about DeAndre Ayton here. That is a huge piece from the Nets. There's no guarantees of Ben Simmons. He's not playing an NBA game since June of 2021. I think that was a fantastic trade by the Nets to get the number one overall pick in 2018, and arguably could potentially be one of the best setters in the league going forward. With Kevin Durant, well, we know what we're getting with him. That's one of the best players on the planet. But my question is, who are they going to go with the coaching staff? Kevin Durant did say on an earlier interview that it was either the Nets keep Kevin Durant or they keep their general manager Sean Marks and Steve Nash. So it looks like they went the direction of keeping Kevin Durant. But my question now is, who are they going to hire as a coach? Is Kyrie Irving going to have a say in this? Who else on the team is going to have a say in this other than Kevin Durant? But this puts the Nets back into contention if their chemistry and they can stay healthy throughout the season.
Yeah, I think that DeAndre Ayton's a great move for the Nets. They got a young center who can rebuild for the future. I think Kevin Durant needs to go, though. I think Ayton, Kyrie, and Durant will just not work out in Brooklyn. The chemistry between those two doesn't work out. Kyrie belongs with LeBron. I think KD belongs somewhere else. But I think that the Nets, with the front office that they have to go with a rebuild culture. I think they need a GM who knows how to rebuild for the future, stack up on draft picks, build around Ayton, who can get you a few wins for the next few years so you don't have a losing culture. But I do think the Nets need to tank.
I mean, I think with, Durant and Irving, their chemistry is fantastic. And they were lacking a lot of defense in the postseason against Boston. If you watch the series, every game was close, and Nets were always lacking that defensive play to get a stop and get them a chance to win. So I think adding Ayton and adding some defensive pieces in the offseason really helped this team, and I think they'll have a good chance of running it back now, considering they have a big three of Durant, Irving, and Ayton. That's three completely different players. I think they're going to work well together, considering Kyrie and Durant can work well together. And coming off the bench, you have a great second-year player, Cam Thomas, some shooting and Patty Mills, Joe Harris is going to be back in the starting lineup this season to give them even more shooting. I think this team could potentially really work well together. If we saw last year, they really got off to a great start. They were 28 games above. They were 28 games above 500. Yep, that's correct. And then I think going for the future, this team, if it does not work out in the next 2 to 3 years, then they can start to maybe rebuild. But right now, with Durant having 3 more years on his contract, I think the Nets should definitely take a look to see how it goes this year. And if it doesn't work out this year, then they could potentially look at, making a trade. But let's move on to Tristan. What do you think about this?
Yeah, it really depends how it works. I mean, they didn't even give, Ben Simmons a real, chance to work out in Brooklyn.
Play a minute for the Nets.
Yeah, but, in all honesty, it's just, honestly, if this move works out, it's a good move, but I still don't think that the Nets will win the NBA championship. I just still think that Kyrie Irving's too big of a problem with all of the, odd, shenanigans that goes on. It's like Aaron Rodgers, but, Aaron Rodgers is far better than Kyrie Irving.
If Kyrie Irving plays the whole season, there's not much drama. Do you think they can win?
Absolutely, but I just don't trust Kyrie Irving like a penny.
What teams do you guys think could beat the Nets with a healthy team that has chemistry?
The Washington Wizards. I think the Washington Wizards have one of the best young rosters in the the NBA with Kristaps Porzingis and Kyle Kuzma. I think that the offense can really operate. And
So yeah, Wizards, he says, sleeper pick. Bet your money if you believe it. You can make thousands. All right, that is going to sum it off to Durant. And Durant is back in Brooklyn, and Steve Nash is gone. We will see in the remaining days who the coach will be for the Brooklyn Nets heading into the 2022 to 2023 season, which can lead to the first championship in Brooklyn. Thank you so much. I'm Max Rosenshine. This is Tristan Albright, and this is Daniel Herson. We are going to be signing off. This is presented by Skittles, introducing a new lime flavor and bringing it back from the past. Thank you.